Yeah, go ahead, Said. Unless you had anything else, Sean. We'll come back to you. Yeah. Go ahead, Said.
Thank you, Vedant. On the letter itself, I mean, 2 days after the deadline, whatever it is, do you consider the letter to be nullified, canceled, or fulfilled? The content of the letter. What is the status of the letter today?
Cite none of the above. I hope you were paying attention to the very extensive back and forth we had on this on Tuesday. The point of what we said was that these are issues that we're going to continue to pay close attention to. We're going to continue to make assessments on them, and should we see things that we believe are inconsistent of how we expect a major partner like Israel to conduct itself, we'll appropriately raise those things and we'll appropriately enforce and take action as it relates to U.S. law. Our intense focus and our close looking and our assessments of the humanitarian situation in Gaza did not start when the secretary sent that letter. It did not end after that 30-day period. This is something that we have been intensely focused on, certainly in the context of this conflict since October 7th, but even more broadly, the humanitarian situation in Gaza is something that, of course, the United States has been deeply engaged on for many time before that.
I'm not asking a humanitarian question. I'm asking a technical question. The letter had a time limit. I mean, it had very specific things. That part of it, is that nullified? Is that over? Is that canceled? Is that shelved? What is it? The 30-day period, is it extended?
Said, the letter was designed to inject a strong sense of urgency and produce action, and we believe it has done that. We are now going to continue to remain engaged on this. And if we see actions that we think are detracting from these steps of progress, if we see actions that are inconsistent with the kinds of things that we want to see, we, of course, will appropriately make the relevant assessments that we need to make within U.S. law. The letter is not void, it is not null, it is not canceled. The letter was it is one piece of the puzzle as it relates to how we are approaching the issue relating to the humanitarian situation in Gaza.
Just one last on the issue of the letter, but the part that expired on the 12th of this month, is that over?
What part are you talking about?
The part, it had a definite time limit. That's
so
that, I mean, I understand it can be renewable.
It laid out, I think you were focusing a little too intensely on the letter. It laid out some specific steps that
the government.
Let me finish. Let me finish. It laid out some specific steps that we wanted to see. It laid out some progress areas that we wanted to see. We believe that we have seen some progress in some of those areas. We're going to continue to assess and see what happens, and if we see a detraction or steps backward as it relates to that progress, we'll take appropriate action. It's as simple as that.
Okay, so let me ask you about the number of trucks. You said 404 trucks entered since between November 1 and November 9. That is like 44 trucks a day. That's way below.
And in talking to Matt, I will echo what I said again. That number is incredibly and deeply unsatisfactory and certainly inconsistent with the goals that we've set out. But with the changes that have been made, the operational changes, some additional border crossings, some routes that have been opened up and repaired within Gaza, some changes that have been made to the Jordanian corridor, the work that is ongoing with our partners in Egypt and our partners in Israel relating to throughput and capacity issues at Kerem Shalom, our goal and our hope is that we will be able to reach that number, and that's what we're going to continue to press for.
And you said that you disagree with the term genocide to describe what's going on in Gaza. I mean, you guys have done that time and again. Now we know that there are 44,000 dead as of now, at least what the Ministry of Health says from Gaza. The Lancet group says maybe 186,000. There are 10,000 under the rubble presumed dead and so on. Do you have a definition for what genocide is? Can you tell me what is the definition of the government of the United States of America in describing genocide?
Said, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to offer a legal definition for you. What I can say, and what I'll reiterate again, is that the allegations of genocide, we continue to believe are unfounded in the context of the ongoing conflict. Now, that certainly does not minimize the moral and strategic imperative and responsibility that our partners in Israel have to conduct their operations and conduct their activities with civilian protections in mind and taking every possible effort to minimize the impacts on civilians. And certainly it also calls into question Hamas's role in this, because time and time again we have found that Hamas has been resistant to this war coming to a close. They've been resistant to a ceasefire deal, a proposal. They have yet to, a number of hostages continue to remain in Gaza, including American citizens. And so certainly that is a component of this as well.
But let me understand you correctly. I mean, I'm not disputing any of what you're saying. I'm saying that the government of the United States does have a definition as to what genocide is. We've seen that in the 90s.
It certainly does.
We've seen that in many places.
I'm not a lawyer, so I don't have it. I
No,
don't
I
have it for
understand,
you. But again, what we would find those allegations to be unfounded.
Can you please get us the definition of the United States government?
I'm happy to.
Okay.
I'm happy
I have a couple more questions.